Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys urged to add offensive tackle. NFL scouts say has a lot to work with. The Dallas Cowboys have taken pride over the past decade in boasting one of the NFL's most consistently dominant offensive lines. But there are now two major holes to plug following a pair of marquee free agency departures this offseason. Dallas lost stalwart All-Pro Tyron Smith to the New York Jets, and Tyler Biadasz will line up against the Cowboys twice each season as Washington's starting center. Given the dire need to fortify the line of scrimmage, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys could target an offensive tackle in the first round of the upcoming 2024 NFL Draft. In ESPN's latest shared mock draft projection featuring alternating picks made by Field Yates and Mel Kiper Jr., Yates projects the Cowboys will select Oklahoma offensive tackle Tyler Guyton with the number 24 overall pick. The Cowboys are staring at a left tackle hole, Yates points out, and could move Tyler Smith there. But my sense is they'd be more likely to address that spot in the draft and keep Smith at left guard. Guyton's elite footwork suggests he can make a smooth transition to the left side in the pros. Presuming the Cowboys don't trade up to select either Penn State's Olu Fashanu or Notre Dame's Joe Alt, Guyton, at 6'8" and 322 pounds has plenty of upside to anchor one side of Dallas' offensive line. Guyton really saw his draft stock soar after a stellar performance during the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Senior Bowl Executive Director Jim Nagy tells Heavy he believes that while there are more pro-ready tackles in this loaded offensive tackle class than Guyton, the Oklahoma standout might have the most upside in coming years. From strictly a tools perspective, Senior Bowl Executive Director Jim Nagy told Heavy, "You could make a good case he's the highest ceiling tackle in this draft. Tyler just does things athletically these other guys can't do. He's so light on his feet it just looks like he's floating sometimes. Even though he's played right tackle in college, he's a high-level left tackle athlete. Thanks to Guyton's athleticism and quick feet, the Oklahoma product is a plug-and-play starter." Meanwhile, teams such as the Cowboys could be drawn to the fact that there's still plenty of room on his frame to add size and strength as he develops. Guyton is a rare athlete for an offensive tackle, PFF writes. He is a former defensive end and didn't start playing offensive tackle until he got to college. That inexperience is still visible. His strike targets to defenders' bodies are inconsistent, as is his hand placement. This has made him more of a pusher than a blocker. Still, his natural physical ability is evident. As Pro Football Focus points out, Guyton allowed only 2 sacks across 27 career collegiate games while going the entire 2023 campaign without surrendering a single sack and only 9 quarterback hurries. There is a lot to work with here, an AFC National Scout tells NFL.com. "I think he has a chance to get hot and go way earlier than people might expect." The Cowboys have high hopes for Marquise Bell. Bell, 25, appeared in all 17 games in 2023, his second NFL season, while posting a career-high 94 total tackles with 2 forced fumbles and 4 pass breakups. The former Florida A&M standout defensive back's 2023 campaign was all the more impressive because that production came after changing positions to linebacker. However, according to a report from the Dallas Morning News, Bell will be returning to safety in 2024, which could alter the Cowboys' draft plans later this month. New defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer plugs a hole in the secondary, with Bell, who weighs in at 6'3" and 205 pounds, after the Cowboys previously upgraded at linebacker by signing veteran Eric Kendricks in free agency. Moving Bell back into the secondary could allow the Cowboys to invest even more resources during the draft along the offensive line, at cornerback, running back, or even depth at wide receiver rather than earmarking a selection for a potentially starting caliber safety. CeeDee Lamb makes decision on Cowboys' voluntary workout program. The Dallas Cowboys began their voluntary off-season program on Monday, and there was one notable but expected absence. CeeDee Lamb is not expected to attend voluntary workouts with the Cowboys as he seeks a new contract, ESPN's Adam Schefter reports. Lamb is set to make just under $18 million in the final year of his rookie contract next season. A recent report said he is unlikely to partake in any portion of the Cowboys' voluntary off-season program without a new deal in place. There are no mandatory workouts until minicamp in June. If Lamb chose to hold out from that, he would be subject to a fine of $101,716. Lamb led the NFL with 135 receptions last season. The former Oklahoma star had 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns. It goes without saying that he wants to become one of the highest-paid receivers in the NFL, which is an honor that currently belongs to Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill and his $30 million annual salary. Another NFC team signed one of their star wide receivers to an extension on Monday. Lamb may have had a close eye on that deal. Cowboys tab top landing spot for polarizing bowling ball RB. Depending on where you look, you'll get some very different versions of how this year's running back class stacks up in the NFL draft. That's especially important for the Cowboys, who could very well be the first team to splurge on a running back on day 2 of the draft. Currently, with running back Tony Pollard having departed in free agency, the Cowboys' running back room is built around fourth-year career backup Rico Dowdle, who was re-signed last month. Projections around whom the Cowboys will select to fill the void vary widely, with Jonathan Brooks of Texas being the top option. Trey Benson and Blake Corum also get mentions. But Bleacher Report is zigging where others are zagging. They're seeing Notre Dame star Audric Esteem as the choice for the Cowboys. As the site's Gary Davenport wrote in an article titled, 2024 NFL Draft, Best Landing Spots for Top RBs to Contribute as Rookies, Esteem is a capable pass catcher and one of the better pass-protecting backs in this year's class. In other words, he possesses the skill set to be a three-down back, or at the very least be the lead back in a committee attack. There isn't a team in the NFL with a bigger need in the backfield than Dallas. But to be sure, Esteem is not a sure thing as an NFL prospect. Far from it. Bleacher Report has him ranked as the top running back in this year's class, and it is easy to see why. He is a big bruiser, a 5'11", 221-pound fireplug who can grind between the tackle, a sort of anti-Pollard, in a way. He would make a good tandem with Dowdle in that respect. But Pro Football Focus has Brooks as the top running back in this class, the number 56 player available in the draft. Esteem is much lower, the number 9 running back and 116th player in the class. Mel Kiper of ESPN is a little more generous to Esteem, ranking him number 6 among running backs behind Brooks, Tennessee's Jalen Wright, Benson, Corum, and Marshawn Lloyd of USC. One potential benefit of locking in on Esteem is that the Cowboys could, potentially, wait to use a day 3 pick on him. But the issue there is that the Cowboys do not have a 4th-round pick, having sent it to San Francisco in the deal for quarterback Trey Lance last summer. That means, barring a trade, the Cowboys pretty much need to get their running back in the 3rd round, where they possess the number 87 pick. Esteem's draft stock was severely knocked down by a poor showing in the 40-yard dash at the Combine, when he posted a 4.71 time. A scouting report at the Huddle noted, he's a bowling ball that can fit nicely into a backfield committee looking for early down help running the ball and breaking the goal line. His lack of speed is concerning at the NFL level and it could be a limitation. His 40 time rated in the bottom 4% of all running backs in combine history. He later ran a 4.58 at the Notre Dame Pro Day, but a major plus with the NFL Combine is that all the players can be compared to each other in an objective environment. Esteem did meet with the Cowboys during the Combine, he said, and came away encouraged. I just like the energy the Cowboys had, Esteem said, per SI.com. They are very energetic guys and had smiles on their faces. I'm a guy that is always smiling and they were smiling right back at me. They are a very football-savvy team that knows a lot about football. I'm a guy who always wants to be informed. I feel like in that system I'll be able to learn every day and maximize my ability. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Audric Esteem? Leave your opinion in the comments.